January has passed. As you can see, Feyenoord aren't giving up this chase. We're on equal points. We've got some important games coming up today. Join me for it. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ajax Assembled. My name is Frank and welcome back. Thank you for all the new subscribers since our last episode. Been one of my biggest influxes of them since, well, I've started really. Just trying to find out where we last left you. Before January, I believe it was, might be the Utrecht game at home. If it wasn't, we'll start from January either way. We'll just flick through the results. There's not a lot worth showing because we did falter a tad. A 1-0 win away against Waalwijk. I'll show the goal. I'll show the goals where I can do so, but we haven't been free-flowing with our goals. They've been a bit hard to come by. I'll show you a couple, and then I'll probably go through the transfers. Very simple goal here. A bit of a mistake at the back here. Van der Boy's kind of messed around a bit, but Brian Brobby scores and gives us the win of Waalwijk. Only a 1-0 win away, but very important win. Brobby is worth noting. Since then, if I just find that game again, where are we? January. Since then, Brobby's gone on a bit of a tear. He's improving all the time. He wants a new contract, which we will sort out. But in all competitions this season, he's got 16 goals in 19 games, 2 off the bench, of course. But he's been absolutely lethal. 6 goals in the Champions League. He's just performing fantastically. He's becoming the player I thought he would be. After beating Waalwijk, we drew at home against Go Ahead Eagles. On the paper, terrible, but in actual reality, a decent result. Weindal got sent off very early on. We pulled the goal back through Gonzalez with a few minutes left to go. And we really could have won it in the grand scheme of things. But then disaster struck at home. Anwar Ghazi scored for PSV, beaten by our rivals at home. Very similar to real life Ajax at the moment, with PSV beating them at the Amsterdam Arena in real life, which I'm sure they got a lot of criticism for during the game and after. Thankfully, we did bounce back quite quickly. One of our new signings who joined on the 6-month deal, we got on the free transfer. Not free transfer. This is a deal I sorted out just after the first transfer window for January. Mario Shuriken scored his first goal for the club. He's playing for Jong Ajax at the moment, but he scored his first professional goal for us there in the Dutch Cup. Followed that with a 1-0 win against Fortuna Sittard. Nicola Gonzalez scored. It did turn out to be his last ever game, which is probably why it's probably best to show you the transfer history and see what's actually gone on. And you'll see there isn't too many changes. Nicolas Gonzalez left for 64 million to go to Manchester City. So in a season, we brought him in for 25 and we've basically nearly tripled our money, which is not bad. Obviously, nearly tripled. No, we didn't exactly do it, but it's cracking. It's a cracking fee. Basically, it's going to get 64 million, and it has cost them 64 million already, which is a massive wedge for us. Obviously, beating him for 25, I'm happy with it. Good player obviously good player and hard to lose, but you know what? We've done well there. Lello obviously left to Zenit for 11.25. What did we do with that? We went out and bought a Kanji because Bornau got a spine injury for 5 months. So I went out and bought a very good player, I think, Manuel Kanji, for 25 million from Manchester City. He's been fantastic for every game he's played in so far. And I can't really ask much more than that. And I think he is a cracking player in general. And he's been great. He's 28. He's the right age. He's in his prime. And it's a fantastic signing. We did replace Nicolas Gonzalez with Rooney Bargi. You probably, if you've played FM since last year, you'll know this man. Rooney Bargi is a wonder kid again this year. He doesn't look as good as he did last year. In this save particularly, obviously your mileage may vary every time you load up the game. The players change slightly, but he does look very good. I think he's going to be a really good replacement for Nicolas Gonzalez long term, and short term he can play. He hasn't played as of yet for us, but for 10 million it made sense. Which meaning we've got 35 million left over, so we obviously got plenty of room to work with if we did wish to do so, but obviously not for now. We beat Sparta Rotterdam 3-1. Kudus, Schelleroop and Brian Brobby scored. That would be Schelleroop's first game back from injury, which is pretty good. Alkmaar we won 3-1. Kudus, Turan, Brobby, and just beat Canberra 2-0. So defence is holding up well, but if you look at the table, obviously we're still second. Finals are matching us step for step. 2 draws, 1 loss, same as us, 18 wins, 56 points, 56 points. Getting pretty insane now. The longer this goes on, just getting a bit worried because, look, we don't play final until May, which we're not far away now. Obviously, this episode is going to have a couple of games in. We'll probably play what are we going to do here? I'm not sure. Probably the Groningen, the quarterfinal against Feyenoord, which is why I joined you back here. And next episode will be the second leg of the round of 16. But yeah, so we've got a fun couple of games today, and obviously Feyenoord is a good match again. I want to test ourselves against them and see if they are as good as us. Because I think the game we early on, we didn't really realise how important that game would be at that point, and we played really well. And that's the only time we dropped points all the way until, well, in the league, January. So, we did. It was a lovely run, wasn't it, for the time? But we didn't realise how grand that game would be. Either way, let's get into the Groningen game. We'll actually get to see this team now. I don't think I'm there actually as of yet. So give me a few seconds. I'll come back for the Groningen game. We'll pick a team together and we'll see what we can do. Here we are, the team for Groningen. A bit of a few forced changes here. João Gomes, Schelderoepen, not really match fit, or they could start, but they probably wouldn't see the whole game out. So I'll drop them to the bench for this. Obviously, eyes towards the final game in midweek, which we have to be very cautious of. But we'll go with the team. We've got Lunin, Akanji, Timber, and Dika Wrench, Lins, Turam, Kudus, João Pedro, Edwards, and Robbie. Do you know what? Since the beginning of this save to this team now, there's not a massive difference. Obviously, we've just changed out some of the older guard, really, for this new generation coming through, which is really exciting for Ajax. And obviously, as of today, I think the real game is out now. Well, not the real game, but the full game is out now. I will wrap this up. I think it'll be a couple more episodes for the Ajax save, and then you will see. Probably give me a week or a couple of weeks maybe just to plan out in my head what I'm going to be doing, because I really haven't decided on a save as of yet. I don't want to rush into it. I think it's important to pick the correct save, and it'll be a longer term one, so get ready for that. It'll be lower division for a little while, but I always love the lower division ones. I love watching other people find players we've never heard of, but not in the bad way, but players who you'd probably never pick or try to sign if you had to. Robbie's nicked the ball here. João Pedro, 1-2 with Robbie, and he scores again. I think that's onside. For my money, I'd put that in, and that's going to be tied up as another Ryan Robbie goal. It's worth noting between recording, obviously, and it's a goal awarded. I thought so. Cracking goal. João Pedro and Robbie getting that really good psychic connection now. Sorry, as I was saying, in between recording, Kudus actually signed a 5-year deal, which is great. Not much of a pay rise than he was already on, which is fantastic. Did try to offer Bobby that new deal that he wanted, but he did that stupid thing where he didn't want to tell me what he wanted. I know I could have asked his agent, but he didn't. I didn't bother with that. I thought he'd be okay because he's already here. I didn't think he'd be hardballing me that badly. But yeah, he didn't tell me what he wanted. I offered 80. He's on 69, for instance. So I offered 80. He was very unhappy with that and asked for 130. And then I went down to 100 as a counter offer. He just walked out. So I was like, fine, whatever. He's contracted to 27 anyway, so he's got a couple of years on his deal, so I'm not really that worried. But we'll tie it up in the off season probably. But I don't plan to play the save much longer. Then even off camera, I probably won't really. I'll just leave it where it was and save it. And might be something I'll revisit one day. But do you know what? It's a nice save. It's only short term for me, so there isn't too many plans to continue it, even personally, if it's not on camera. And I really want to get cracking with our longer term one, honestly. It doesn't look like there's going to be much going on with this game anyway. 1-0 to Robbie. And, do you know what, though? Ndika's form is worth talking about very quickly. He's been absolutely fantastic since coming in. And it looks like he's going to be rewarded with no clean sheet, as he says. Oh, I'm going to have a free kick. More or less last highlight of the game. I'm going to flick it to very attacking. Oh, God. Whoopsie. I flicked it to very attacking in complete just acceptance that would fly in. But no, not to be. Another win. Let's see what Feyenoord have done. Have they dropped points? They haven't played yet, so we don't know. But it's worth clicking forward just to see if they match it again, because every week I'm clicking, hoping they drop points. Who have they got? Alec Kamara away. Do us a favour, AZ. Come on. Someone's got to do us a favour. They have been, obviously, to our level and just winning everything. Oh, it's a draw. For the first time this season, we've actually gained some ground on them. Oh, my Lord. 2 points. We need to make that count. Either way, we can rub our stamp our superiority mentally by beating them in the quarterfinal of the KNVB Becker. And that's what I'll join you back for in 2 seconds. Here we are for the team. More or less picked itself. Schelderoepen is back fit, and so is João Gomes. They're the only changes to the team, and they're back in. And it's an important one, obviously. We're playing our top dog rivals here, Feyenoord. I know it's the cup, but gotta beat them. I like to just rubber stamp our superiority to them. They've got a good team. Is that actually Suso? Did they sign him? Unreal. No wonder they've done well this year. They've actually improved, and they've kept hold of their key group of players like I can't say his name. Kochu or Kan Kochu or Kirchu. I don't know how to say it. Oh, Brobby, get in. Leaps like a salmon. Shelderroot corner. Back from his slight unfitness. And Brobby scores again. He's scoring every game at the moment. He's absolutely in a rich vein of form. And this is by no means no exception. In the cup, he's put us 1-0 up straight away. Brian Brobby beats 3 men in the air. They had 3 men on him. The keeper can't even get it. It's on underside of the crossbar and it's in. Kefren Turan picked up the captain's armband here today as well. And you know what? Probably one of my best signings. Signed from a relegated Brighton for 25 million. I think he's been absolutely phenomenal, and I recommend him heavily for any of your saves. If you can get him before someone like Brighton does, I don't know how cheap you could get him for, but they signed him for what, 12, 13 million, I think. I don't remember. Obviously, I didn't sign him directly from his club, which is Nice, I think, at the start of the game. I didn't sign him there. João Pedro on the ball now, looking for some options in the middle. There is one. Brobby is in there. He doesn't. Does he need them? No. He didn't, but he didn't score, sadly. And Dika, Akanji, Manuel Akanji, Bassi, Brobby, first time. Oh, Justin Bilger cannot get it and is absolutely mental in the stands right now. Brian Brobby has scored again. Get in there. What an effort this was, though. Akanji playing that ball-playing defender role. He's he's in the 40-yard box. 40 box. There is no 40-yard box. You know what I mean. He's in 40 yards from their goal. Plays into Bassi, who plays a short pass to Brobby. He just looks where he's going to place it, and he just hits it there. It's 2 goals early on for the young striker. And this is a much easier game than I thought it would be. I mean, we've come out of the traps flying. Finals have been pound for pound right with us. Kudus, through on goal again. Could it be 3? No, good save from Justin Billier. But we're absolutely all over them. We'll have to give them a shout of praise. Shoulder up over another corner. Swung in again. Brobby, he's up there again. They can't really deal with it though. João Gomez on the edge of the box. He spins back in again and he wins another corner just to keep the pressure on again. Probably be the end. Oh no, the highlight keeps rolling on. It's 5 minutes, it looks like. Gomez. Oh, not to be. Keeper claims the ball, stands over it very menacingly, looking for a springing option. Will there be one? No, the highlight ends. I hope you're all very excited for the World Cup, by the way. I certainly am. Do you know what? I mean, obviously, my family is Greek. Like traditionally, obviously, I was born in England, so I am an England fan. But I don't think Greece are even at this World Cup, which is a bit sad. They typically get an appearance in the Euros and so on. 3-0, get in, probably a hat trick. This is getting away with me. This is great so far. But no, I don't really know if I rate England's chances. I know I have a lot of Netherlands viewers as well. I'll be really interested to see what do you think about the World Cup, or what do you think your chances are. I don't specifically rate Louis van Gaal as a manager. I mean, I have in the past, obviously, and I think he seems like a lovely person. Whether he's the manager for this job, I don't know. I do worry where the goals are coming from. I love Cody Gakpo. I love Bergwijn's, obviously a Tottenham fan. I loved him, but it just didn't work out. But I don't know if that's enough goals. There isn't an out-and-out striker, I believe, that will be there. But Steven Berghuis, he's a great player too. But will they give enough goals to fire Netherlands far in that competition? I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, in terms of England's chances, we're probably through the groups, but depending where we finish first or second, which we probably should finish first, looking at our group, obviously that's not. I think that's a demand more than an expectation. It has to be. And speaking of expectation, Evan and Dika, first goal for Ajax on a string of great performances. He's made it even better. 4-0 against Feyenoord. It's the last kick of the first half. And we've comfortably dispatched them. They've had one shot and it wasn't on target. We've kept them penned in their half. They've made some changes, but it's probably too late. We look to be progressing in the cup and we've played absolutely phenomenally. They've let me just literally waffle on about any old thing. João Pedro, he's made it 1 minute after the restart. We'll give them another praise. They deserve it. We've been absolutely phenomenal. And this is the most goals we've scored for a very long while, I must say. And it's very good to score against a very close rival. Do you know what? We'll spring the changes. A 5-0 up. I don't think there's a problem here. We'll bring on Stroikens in that striker role. It's not particularly where he plays, but we can be a bit funky with our subs now. We'll bring on Estevez as well and Luke. Actually, I can only make 3. All right, well, I'll make the 3 I would like to bring on. We'll rest a few players. Robbie can walk off with a round of applause for his incredible hat-trick in this game. And we'll bring on a couple of youngsters in Stroikens. And Rondigan Yankton as well. Jorgensen, sorry. But 5-0, they still don't have a shot on target. We've proper contained them. Obviously, I wouldn't say his tactics are amazing and obviously copy it. Oh, of course, when I make 3 changes, his injuries. Kefren Turam as well. They're such an important player. I'm going to praise him again because they do deserve it. I'm just praying that injury isn't bad. What did they say it was? We'll find out after the game. Well, we're not going to let that injury overshadow what was a fantastic performance from the boys. We'll find out what the injury is. 2 to 3 weeks. We can live with that. We'll leave him to the physio. We'll see the draw. I don't think it'll be anything exciting. I don't know who's left, if PSV are still in it or not, but we're through to the semis now, obviously. It'd be nice to win this competition. We obviously didn't in the first game, but the first season, sorry, because we got knocked out in the 3rd round by the Graf Shep, I think it was, which was embarrassing as anything. But we'll see who we get. Come on, it must be around here somewhere. Oh, here we go, semi-final. No, PSV are out as well, so this should be a foregone conclusion. We've got 20 AZ Alkmaar and Groningen. We're advancing 20 versus Ajax. So we've got FC 20 in the semi-final, which is interesting. And then we'll meet either Alkmaar or Groningen in the final. I fancy us if we beat 20, we should go on to win this thing. And there'll be a nice trophy to add to our collection before we wrap this series up. Rightio, give me a second. I'll be back for Utrecht, and then we'll play that. And then we've got a little bit of a break. But then next episode, we've got some exciting fixtures. We've got the Champions League second leg. And I think we've got a chance against Juventus. We pulled off some great results in the first couple of years in Champions League. Let's just see if we can actually get the knockout side of things going. Join you back in 1 second. Not too many changes, just blending really for the centre mid role. Obviously, with Thuram's injury, and he's filled in very, very well since earlier in the season. If you do remember watching an episode, I think it was like 2 or 3 of this season. Not too sure. I can't remember off the top of my head now how these are spread out. I don't remember really. I just kind of record chunks and then put them together for an episode, so I don't remember when that was. But he did play well. Obviously, if you do remember, he played really well in that centre mid role. Either way, it's a bit of a different test. I don't know how final they're getting on. Do you know what? Do you know when things just really freak you out in real life? Obviously, I'm sorry to go on a tangent, but I was literally getting breakfast the other day and I saw someone in this kit, the Ajax, like whatever kit this is, like the gold weird away kit or 3rd kit. I'm not sure what it is, but I saw someone else just like, what are you doing? Like, I live in a place that, I don't live in London. Like, I live a bit further away, like in Kent, but like, yeah, you don't see many Ajax shirts in general, let alone the gold away one of this year. So, and I did hear him. He didn't sound Dutch, but hopefully he's just a fellow admirer of Ajax like me. And speaking of admiring, Calvin Bassey's got his first senior goal for Ajax, which is fantastic. I didn't expect him to pop up with goals anytime soon, but it's a lovely little work to move here. Devin Range plays it back to João Gomez, who plays it out to Bassey. He hits it first time on his right foot. It's a cracking goal. I think that's his weak foot, actually. And didn't look like it. What a fantastic finish. He's put us 1-0 up in a very important game. Final, they're playing later against Roda. So if we can go 5 points clear before they play, hopefully we can turn a bit of pressure up on them. But I fully expect them to dispatch Roda Kakrad. Brobby heads down. Can Bozdogan was there. Jorin Timber, Lunin, and Dicker. The subject of goalkeeper came up in one of the comments, and obviously I did sign Robert Sanchez. He hasn't played every game, but I've really enjoyed Lunin, and I don't think he's done anything wrong. And I found it hard to drop him. And also, Sanchez accepted to be a backup, so he hasn't kicked up a fuss. So don't worry, I'm not like just scuppering my morale here to do it. He's actually happy to be a backup. He's a really expensive backup. I'm paying him more than the first team goalkeeper here, so it's strange, but it's something that probably would change soon. We'll bring on Edward to show the rip as our assistant suggests. I think that makes sense. But do you know what? We might not be winning. Obviously last game was an exception where we blew the other team away, but I feel like defensively, the changes and the players we brought in, I don't know whether it was a Kanji or whether it was just, obviously he isn't playing today, sadly, but Ndika picking up good performances, Bassey and Wrench just learning each other, maybe having more or less the same back four, apart from like 1 or 2 centre backs in the changing. we are solid. They've not had a shot on target all game. They've had one shot, which has gone wayward, and we scored. I know we probably should have scored more. We had an XG of 2, we only scored 1, so we should have returned more. But when you can stop the other team from shooting completely, we're scuppering them massively. Sadly, Final did go on to win. But you know what, all in all, I think 3 wins out of 3 is a pretty successful episode. I think next episode you'll obviously be seeing the probably like the second leg of the round of 16, Excelsior and Villans Way. We only have 5 games left in the league when we get there. Probably won't wrap it up considering how tight it is this season, but if we do, you'll probably see a bit of that as well. Anyway, thank you for joining me for this episode. I've really appreciated it, and I'll say it once again, so close to 300 subscribers. It was my goal before FM. Obviously, FM is out now, but we got so close. And I think I've gained more subscribers than I have in the last 28 days than I have in the last 300 days. So thank you for being part of the journey. I really do appreciate your continued support and comments. It does make my day. I don't do this, obviously, for money or anything. I don't get any money for it, but I love people just watching what I do and making this more fun for me. I enjoy sharing with you, and I hope you enjoy watching, whether you're watching YouTube or, listening to Saint while you play another game, playing FM yourself, just listening to me in the background, which is what I do a lot. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you for the next one.